And so, it begins. Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. The date today is the 19th of May, 2009. In my country, it is 7:30 in the evening. In your country, it may be another time. On the east coast of the US, it's 2:30. And in other times, it's other places. And this is the one, the only, the spectacular Blue Please. What have we got coming up for you in the show today? Mucho excitement. Well, not really, actually. This is kind of a laid-back episode because that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to kind of lay back a little bit from WoW and sort of chill out and relax and sort of take stock of the whole situation. So I imagine there'll be something about that. So later in the show, we'll be talking about pets and why you should stop crying about them. And also the commercialization of WoW with the introduction of Mountain Dew battle bots. Oh yes, we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Also, when should you take a break from WoW? When should you stop? We'll be talking about raid burnout and how it can affect even the most hardcore of players. Also, Patch Notes Roundup. Patch is going live today, folks. We'll be giving you an overview of what to expect. And I will be coming to the conclusion that it is not remotely exciting because there's barely anything in it. But I'm sure we can fill 15 minutes of the show. Also, your chance to contribute to the show by emailing themurloc@gmail.com with your suggestions for the last topic. It's the illusion of choice! Dangerous health and safety hazard, or elf and safety as I like to call it. Terrible. Totally terrible. What have I been doing this week? To be honest, I have not played any WoW this week, and I feel good. I do. I feel good about not doing it, because I've been trying to relax. I got to the stage where I perhaps wasn't enjoying WoW as much as I should, so I say, hey, take a break. We'll be talking about that later in the show anyway. I don't think there's any real need to go on with that. So, before I continue on with the show and get into the mailbag, get my filthy, greasy hands in there, a couple of reminders, guys. I'll be going on the Rawcast show on the 30th of May, 2009, and we want to break all their live records. Like, not actually go into their house and pick their LPs up and start smashing them on the floor while laughing cruelly. That would be mean. But no, we want to get as many people on the live stream as possible. There are details on the front page. You scroll down a bit. Or you can also find them on rawcast.com. And I'll be reminding you on the site closer to the date. Also, this Friday will be a interesting show. That's one way of putting it. Anyway, it'll be Blue Please, but it'll be Blue Please plus people. Yes, we'll be having some guest hosts because it's Game Fest. Yes, it's my... I wouldn't exactly call it annual or monthly, I suppose quarterly gathering at my place where we get a bunch of WoW Radio guys around, listeners, some hosts, stuff like that. And for like 4 days we play games and drink beer. It's fantastic. So we'll be having such people as Alvis around, no doubt. And I believe Chaos Smurf may also make an appearance, as well as a whole bunch of other listeners. So I would imagine Friday may be a little bit chaotic, to say the least. Just giving you prior warning. Also, we should be having the interviews for PopCap up by that point. Yes, because I lost the interview file. Do you know how horrible that is? I got this great interview, right, and nailed it with Carl from PopCap, who is a great guy. And I look at my program, and I use PowerGram or Professional to do the recording on Skype. It's not exactly priced, it's like a $50 program. It's been very reliable so far. And I look at the file, and it's 26 minutes of silence. I'm like, oh, why? Thankfully, Carl is cool and has agreed to come and re-record the interview with me, but he should have just got back from a business trip today, so probably be happening sometime over the next few days. It'll be interesting to see, and yes, it will be a stellar interview, and I'll be getting you some answers on the add-on policy. Oh yeah, some interesting stuff. Anyway, I think it's time for this.
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
Oh, it never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, it's time for the mail, folks. Time for the mail. And we've got quite a few to get through today, so let's get on with it. This one is from The Destroyer, which is a terrible name, I must say. Seriously, come up with something better. And he's saying this: Hey TB, you may have heard recently about the cease and desist that was sent to the German webcomic Shakes and Fidget. What are your opinions on this, and do you think that Blizzard is going too far with its enforcement of copyright? That's from Ted Destroyer. Okay. Well, this has been covered by Where Everything's Considered a little bit already, so I'm just going to go over it very briefly. Here's the problem. We know nothing about this. Like, nothing. Every avenue that I have gone after to get inquiries on this issue has been a total stone wall. Yeah? We contacted our PR contact at Blizzard. Nothing. I contacted Blizzard Legal. Nothing. I contacted Shakes and Fidget themselves. Nothing. Nobody knows why. That's the problem. I can't really comment on it as a result of that because nobody knows why. Now, it does seem to me that this is not a, hey, we have started hating all webcomics, because they are the only guys who got C&D'd. And just bear this in mind. There's like a webcomic which you should have heard an interview from a while ago on my show. It was created by a guy by the name of Fargo, who doesn't work for GameSpy anymore, but it's still on GameSpy, and it goes by the name of... oh, damn it, what's the name of it? Flintlock, yes! And that actually uses Model Viewer, yeah? So it's using loads of Blizzard assets, and it's on a commercial site, and that's fine, and everything else seems to be fine. Dark Legacy's fine, all this other stuff's fine, so I don't think, honestly, having reviewed what little evidence that I have, that they're cease and desisting Shakes and Fidget just because they started hating on webcomics all of a sudden. I don't even believe it was because of merchandise. I think there's probably a much deeper reason, much more complicated reason. It could have something to do with German copyright law, because that's a real nightmare. If you want to know about that, go and look up the term Damnatus. Google it. Google the Damnatus story, because that was a German Warhammer 40,000 fan film that had to have its release blocked as a result of stupid German copyright laws. So yeah, it could very well be that. It could be anything. I can't make any more comments on it, honestly. I really can't. I mean, what can I say? If I don't know anything, it would be irresponsible to even speculate on the issue. So, no, we won't talk anymore about that. Now, another email here. It's from Christian Sondrup Sorensen, which I probably didn't pronounce correctly. Good evening, almighty roller of gnomes, puppies and cake. I was wondering what you were thinking of the nerfs that have been done to twinks, such as Nethercleft Leg Armor, which used to be one of the core twink enchants. Also, the new level requirements for enchants, so it's no longer the item that needs rating, but the char instead, which means no more plus 100 HP on chest. For my rogue twink, it's meant a loss of about 1k HP and a lot of damage. Do you think Blizzard is taking a step away from twinking and as such ruining, in my opinion, a perfectly valid playstyle? From your crazy Danish stalker with a funny name, Hinura, from Anarchy Doomhammer EU. Yeah. I don't like it when they nerf twinks at all. You know, I've never liked it. I'm not a twink player. I've never been a twink player. My only attempt to get a twink got to level 12 and then I got bored of the leveling. It's terrible. Absolutely horrendous. However, I can semi-see where they're coming from, particularly with stuff like that. What they're trying to do, I imagine, is try and make those lower bracket battlegrounds fair. The problem is they're never going to be fair. This is something they don't seem to realise. The people who are going to battlegrounds, right, there's two peoples. That's not even a proper use of the grammar. I am horrible. Ah! there's two kinds of people that go into lower level battlegrounds, right? You've got alts and you've got newbies. Yeah? And newbies are going to get schooled one way or the other. They'll go in at level 12 in white gear and get absolutely, totally schooled in every respect. And it's a learning experience. And there's alts, who can consist of leveling alts and twinks. Now, if you are leveling an alt in order to get it to 80 or whatever, there is no reason for you to be in Battlegrounds at all, because it doesn't benefit you. You don't get XP from it, the equipment you get takes way too long, and by the time you've got it, you could have easily out-leveled it anyway. There's no reason. Alts, on the other hand, as twinks, well, they've got a reason for being in there. Yeah, they do the same thing that we do at 80. They try and get the best character possible. Admittedly, it's more limited, but it's also a little bit more interesting. Yeah? Seeing a fully geared out twink these days is actually a little bit more impressive than seeing a fully geared out raider. Certainly was around the Nax days. Oh, you've got the full tier 7.5. Well, to be honest, I'm more impressed with this guy who's got like Shadow Fang and a Cruel Barb and all of this cool stuff. He's like all in blues. He's got the best crafted stuff. He's got the goggles, which do nothing. Well, they do something. They give you like +4 spirit or whatever, and some stamina. But yeah, you've got a headpiece at that level, which is, of course, now impossible to get. It's cool. It's interesting to look at. I'm fine with that. But Blizzard obviously aren't. So, I think Blizzard are misguided in removing this kind of stuff, because, to be honest, the only people complaining are a bunch of whiners. And newbies probably haven't even found their way to the forums. They're probably like, okay, that's fine, we just level past it, so our initial experience in Battlegrounds sucked. That may be the reason that they're trying to nerf it, because I think perhaps that twinks scare people off Battlegrounds at higher levels, if they've only just leveled up. It's possible. It's like, hey, I'm a new 80. Let's go to Battlegrounds. Oh, no, I remember what happened to my buttocks at level 19. Oh, no, absolutely not. That could be why. But otherwise, I don't see a reason for it. I don't think there's any point. I think the twink playstyle should be supported. On the other hand, just bear in mind that you can still twink out your character. Yeah, they haven't taken away the best in slots. They've taken away some enchants. If they start taking away best in slot gear, or homogenizing stuff, then I can kind of get it. But you can still be the best, more so than a newbie player could ever be. So, I think there's a bit of overreaction on both sides. Blizzard is overreacting to the problem, quote-unquote, of twinks, when there really isn't one. And twinks are overreacting, saying, oh, well, they're killing our class, blah, blah, blah. They're killing our playstyle, and that's unacceptable. So, yeah. That's my opinion on that. Let's see if we can find one more in the mailbag before our first music break. We've got some exciting stuff coming up in the music break, by the way. I'll tell you about that in a little while, in the last few minutes. And I've got one more email that I have misplaced. How terrible of me. Usually I star all my emails, give me like a big tick, and unfortunately, I decided not to do that. Alright, I've got one more here, and it's going to have to be a quick one. It's like, hey there, Elisade here, Warlock on Dragonblight EU. I listened to the episode dealing with hard modes versus normal modes, and the conflict between people being created since everyone wants to do the content they are most interested in doing. We've had this problem within our guild since the beginning of Wrath Raiding. It was a bit easier to decide the path to take in Nax Rambus, because some of the achievements considered as hard modes were silly enough for the majority to decide that it's useless to do those achievements. But now with Ulduar, it's a lot harder. People want to go their way and can't even begin to understand that someone else might be interested in going another way through an instance. It's a bit of a headache. This is set for disaster, if let alone. I think the best way to avoid disaster is to have a firm leadership saying this is what we are focusing on, everything else comes second to that. That should quiet things down a bit, and the danger of it going into a drama explosion should be lower. If left alone with discussions each raid on what approach to take today, it will end up wasting a lot of time. People getting in each other's faces, which sooner or later will lead to drama and stupid discussions. I think a lot of this could be avoided by simply locking people out of the hard modes until they've cleared the instance. Hard modes are meant to be there to provide challenging content for people who get bored with everything else already. So if people have to clear everything to even try hard modes, a lot of the problems are eliminated. Then you get a set path, and people will want to go there the first time. Right, that's fine. Yeah, I kind of agree with this, and you're not the only one to suggest this, because people that actually matter, like Nihilum, for instance, or in this case, of course, Insidia. I'm sure the remnants of Nihilum's PvP team probably have an opinion on it as well. But they've also said that that would be the best way. They're of the belief that Blizzard should provide a concrete path of progression. And to some degree, I must agree with them. I think it's nice to have the choice, but it's also misleading. Like, some of the encounters, hard modes, are way, way harder than others. It's like Flame Leviathan's hard modes. A lot of guilds could learn that. Yeah? But talk about XT002's hard mode. No. Iron Council's hard mode, well, that's got different levels of it. Freya's got different levels. But then Hodia's hard mode, bloody hell. I mean, it's all over the place. It's randomly scattered in difficulty. And I think that perhaps a lot of guilds do get a false impression of how capable they are when it comes to hard modes. You know, I've been pushing to try and get more hard mode Flame Leviathan in my guild, because I think that anyone can really do that as long as they've got the precision. It's not based on gear so much, because let's face it, the 4 towers Flame Leviathan was cleared in like the first couple of weeks, yeah? So that clearly indicates that it's doable in 7.5 gear. So it's not a case of gearing up like it would be for, say, Hodia, which is a damage race, or XT, which is a damage race, and a healing race, and all manner of different things. And a lot of the stuff's like that. Mimiron, same difference. So I think that doesn't really help matters with the fact that the difficulty level's all over the place. And yes, I do believe they should have a better path of progression. Now, there's always going to be disagreement now that they've brought in achievements and all that other rubbish. Some people are going to want to go for that, and some people aren't. And, you know, we've had people arguing, oh, I want to go in a different vehicle this time, blah, blah. It's like, no, we're not putting you in a different vehicle for Flame Leviathan when we're trying like 3 or 4 towers. We want you in a vehicle you can actually do well. We don't want to have to teach you again. We're not taking you back to school as to how to learn how to use this vehicle. It's not going to happen. It just holds the guild up. So, yeah, achievements are always going to dog you down in that respect, but on the subject of hard modes, it would be nice just to not have them until you'd at least cleared a massive portion of the content, and then maybe unlock them bit by bit. Something along those lines. My name is Total Biscuit, and you're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I've got some very special music for you. These guys go by the name of Internal Conflict. They are friends of mine from Leicester, and the last time I saw them, which was a couple of years ago, they never had a bassist. Now they do, and they've released their first EP that goes by the name of Echoes of Ruby Ridge. It's very, very cool. You can check out their site on MySpace. I believe they are on MySpace under Internal Conflicts Band. That's it. Have it linked in the IRC channel for you. I'm going to play some of their music today. In fact, I'm going to play their entire EP for you. This entire show is going to have their music. I think they're great. They're an awesome metal band. And the name of this track is Kareen. And I'll be right back after this. Enjoy.
This is for the little children. God knows how it should be. Stars and stripes are flying.